Smash that subscribe button like your life depends on it. Because in here, one wrong move really can get you buried before sunrise. The first time the guards found blood in C Block, they thought it was routine. Another fight over contraband, another inmate who didn't understand the rules. But the hallway smelled different, metallic and almost sweet, fresh. It dripped from under cell 47 like something alive, slithering toward the drain. When the steel door finally swung open, they found Andre Ghost Milton lying face down, neck twisted at an unnatural angle, eyes wide like he'd seen something worse than death. There were no shanks, no defensive wounds, no struggle. Just a message carved into his back with chilling precision. He broke Rule 3. The prison went silent, and anyone who'd been inside long enough knew what that meant. Rule 3. Never talk about what you see. Detective Jenna Rourke arrived before sunrise, boots echoing as she crossed the freezing concrete corridor. She'd investigated cartel killings, political corruption, and a serial predator who buried victims behind state fairgrounds. But this place, the infamous St. Augustine Correctional Facility, had a reputation different from anything she'd faced. This wasn't a prison, it was a kingdom. And the inmates didn't follow the law, they followed rules. Rules older than any warden, passed whispered like commandments. No one wrote them down, yet everyone knew them. Rule 1. Respect the hierarchy. Rule 2. Favors are debts. Rule 3. You didn't see anything. Rule 4. Someone always watches. Jenna studied the body. No hesitation marks, no chaos in the cell. Whoever did this was calm, skilled, intentional. And Ghost? He wasn't just any inmate. He was a respected mediator, the kind who stopped wars before they started. If someone like him could be erased this quietly, this cleanly, it meant one thing. Someone inside had power beyond the bars. Warden Hale tried to maintain composure, but sweat betrayed him. This prison functions on an internal balance, he muttered. And that balance just cracked. Translation? Jenna asked. Someone changed the rules. As guards questioned cellmates, one inmate refused to look up. Michael Reyes, former Marine, serving 25 years for armed robbery. Good conduct, no gang ties, quiet, too quiet. Jenna noticed his hands, still trembling. You knew him? He whispered. Everyone knew Ghost, but knowing ain't the problem. The problem is why they chose him. Who's they? Reyes looked up, eyes haunted. You think the guards run this place?
Before she could press further, alarms blared. Another body, this time in the yard. Same carving, same message, same precision. And something else, wedged under the victim's tongue like a macabre calling card. A small piece of paper. Jenna carefully unfolded it. 4 words in jagged type. Rule 5 is next. She stared at it, pulse spiking. 5? There were only 4 rules. Every inmate knew that. So what was Rule 5? The guard went pale. They're not making a threat, he whispered. They're adding a new rule. Jenna felt the weight shift in the room like something ancient had just awakened. And then Reyes finally said the words that froze her blood. If Rule 5 is coming, someone's about to disappear forever. And with a distant siren echoing through concrete walls, the lights suddenly flickered, then died. Total blackout. The lights came back in a violent surge, humming overhead like angry insects. Inmates pressed against their cell bars, eyes wide, whispering prayers or curses, sometimes both. Blackouts inside St. Augustine never meant technical issue. They meant a move was being made. Someone was taking control. Detective Jenna Rourke's instincts fired like gunshots. 2 murders, back to back, carved messages, a blackout. Whoever was behind this wasn't just killing, they were communicating. And they wanted witnesses, just enough to spread fear, but not a trace more. The warden barked orders, trying to restore order, but the guards weren't focused. They were scared. Their hands shook on their batons. One guard muttered under his breath, "This ain't protocol, this is staging." Jenna scanned the cell block, sensory needles pricking across her skin. That's when she saw Michael Reyes again, jaw clenched, staring at the floor like he knew exactly what came next. "Reyes," she called, stepping close to the bars, "you're going to tell me what's really happening." He didn't look up. "We warned them." "Warned who?" "The guards, the warden, even Ghost tried, but they didn't listen." Jenna felt the chill crawl up her spine. Listen to what? That the rules weren't theirs anymore. Before she could respond, the radios on every guard crackled at once. Static, then a distorted voice, calm and measured. "Rule 5. Everyone froze. Someone else whispered it, confused, afraid. "What is Rule 5? Reyes answered without hesitation. "Rule 5, you don't leave."
The yard door exploded open. A group of inmates, faces masked with torn sheets, movements surgical, dragged a guard inside. His badge clattered across the concrete, spinning until it skidded to Jenna's boot. They weren't rioting. Riots are chaotic. This was organized, controlled. They kneeled the guard in the center of the floor, forcing his head down. One inmate held a sharpened toothbrush, not trembling, not frantic, steady, like this was procedure, ritual. Warden Hale shouted, "Stand down!" The inmate leader turned slowly, voice low enough to silence the entire block. Rule 5, nobody leaves. Not inmates, not guards, not outsiders. His eyes burned into Jenna's, not detectives. The guard on the ground sobbed, and Jenna saw something horrifying in the masked men's formation. Military discipline, precision. This wasn't a gang uprising. This was coordinated, trained. Reyes whispered, voice cracking, like he hated himself for knowing. They're the lifers. The ones with no chance of parole. Nothing to lose, everything to enforce. Jenna realized something else. Ghost wasn't killed for breaking Rule 3. He was killed for resisting a power shift. He tried to stop the takeover, and now Rule 5 meant lockdown by fear, forever. The inmate with the shank raised his arm. Instinct screamed in Jenna's chest. She lunged forward as the blade came down. Someone fired a taser. Screams erupted. Bodies collided. The masked inmates slipped back like smoke, disappearing into the chaos, leaving only a blood streak and a dying echo of their message. You don't leave. Breathing hard, Jenna turned, but Reyes was no longer in his cell. The door hung open, tampered from inside. He wasn't just a witness. He hadn't been scared of the killers. He had been scared of being seen talking to her. Reyes had vanished into the prison depths. The warden's voice trembled as he stared at the open cell. He didn't escape. No one escapes this place. Jenna's voice was barely a whisper. So where did he go? From somewhere deep in the prison belly, past concrete walls, metal doors, and forgotten corridors, a voice echoed, faint, but unmistakable. Rule 6. Jenna felt her throat tighten. There's a Rule 6? A trembling officer swallowed hard. There wasn't. Until now. The security doors sealed with a heavy slam, locking down every corridor. Emergency lights cast the halls in an eerie red glow, turning faces into ghosts and concrete into bloodstone. St. Augustine didn't feel like a prison anymore. It felt like a bunker, a tomb waiting to fill itself. Detective Jenna Rourke moved quickly, pulse hammering as she followed the faint echoes deeper into the facility. Rule 6. She didn't know what it meant yet, but every instinct screamed it wasn't written for prisoners. It was written for her. The guards scrambled, radios blaring static, panic rising like heat from asphalt. Sector C blocked. Inmates unaccounted for. We've lost camera feeds. No contact with control room.
The prison wasn't falling apart. It was being taken apart, piece by piece, from inside. Warden Hale jogged beside Jenna, face pale and damp. "You don't understand. This place, it was built on a deal. We let certain men police the others, keep orders so we don't lose control. And you thought that would last forever?" Jenna shot back. "It did, until you came." She stopped. "You think this is because of me?" Hale didn't answer, because he didn't need to. She already knew the truth. Her presence shifted the balance. Ghost warned the guards. They ignored him. And now the lifers had rules of their own, expanding, evolving, tightening like a noose. A scream tore through the cell block, raw and human. They sprinted. A guard lay slumped by an open maintenance hatch, unconscious, not killed. That was deliberate, tactical. She leaned down. Stamped across the metal door was a message, scratched violently into the paint. Rule 6, outsiders don't return. Her chest tightened. They weren't stopping her from leaving the prison. They were ensuring she never made it out alive. A voice echoed from the shadows, calm, familiar. "I told you, no one leaves." Reyes stepped forward. No mask, no shaking hands anymore. His posture was steady, commanding. His eyes weren't afraid. They were resolved. Jenna's throat went dry. "You're not hiding from them. You're leading them." He nodded once. "I tried playing by their rules, serve time, survive quietly. But this place," he spread his arms to the concrete and steel, "this place creates predators. The state doesn't run this prison. We do. And now we run it fully." "Ghost?" she asked quietly. Wouldn't adapt. Believed peace still worked. His voice hardened. Peace died here long before he did. Guards rushed from behind, and Reyes raised his hand, stopping his followers like he owned air, time, and fear itself. "No killing her. The rules are order. Chaos is weakness. She stays. Forever." Jenna backed away. "That's not happening." Reyes shrugged. "Every system needs witnesses. You'll live long enough to see how rules are enforced here." She scanned the area. No escape routes, no backup, no signal. The world outside didn't even know St. Augustine had fallen. Then she saw it. The guards dropped taser at her foot. Reyes noticed her glance, smirked. "Don't." She moved anyway. Muscle memory. A desperate gamble. She fired, sparks bursting as the probe hit metal. Not him. Not even close.
But the flash bought her seconds. She tore through the maintenance hatch and dropped into darkness, crawling through cables and pipes as shouts erupted above. Her breath echoed, sweat stung her eyes. The tunnel twisted like a buried serpent, ending at a rusted ladder. She climbed, boots pounding above her, voices closing in. When she burst out into daylight, gasping like she'd surfaced from drowning, 2 officers aimed rifles at her, startled. "Detective Rourke?" She staggered forward. "Shut it down, full lock. This place is compromised. No one goes in, no one comes out." They rushed her toward armored vehicles. Medics reached for her, but she shoved them off, eyes still locked on the prison, on Reyes, on the tower where figures now watched silently through wire and smoke. Sirens wailed, SWAT prepared. The warden trembled beside her, his voice hollow. "You made it out?" Jenna shook her head slowly. "No, that's the problem." Because she suddenly remembered something Reyes said. Every system needs witnesses. This wasn't escape. It was message delivery. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. One text. "You left. So there's a new rule. Rule 7. The outside belongs to us too." She looked up. The prison's silent, still, waiting. A chill cut through her bones. They hadn't lost control of a prison. They had built a kingdom, and now they were expanding. If you thought this story was intense, you're not ready for the next one. Hit subscribe so you don't miss it.